Video is going to walk you through on how to use the portfolio manager. The portfolio manager can be found in the file investing tool, where you can download from the course website. So when you open up the file, you can see that it's already been pre-filled, so we are just going to remove them since we are not going to use it. So over here you can actually use you can use this portfolio tracker to keep track of your investment. So for instance, I have been invested in 3 companies, for example, Amazon, Unilever, and Alibaba. So you can put the ticker into the portfolio manager. Okay, the second column is actually name. So you can actually the name of the company. So Amazon is AMZ, it is Amazon. Okay, over here is Unilever, and over here is Alibaba. So you can just type any kind of name, but usually it's the company name, just to make sure that you know what this ticker is representing, especially for the Hong Kong company. You know, it's just a number. You won't probably down though you won't remember what this ticker number represents. And then next, we have the sector. So basically, what is saying that what sector is this company operating in. So for example, Amazon is operating in the communication service, so you can select communication services. The next one will be the category. What is the category of this company? So Amazon is a large cap growth company, right? So you can actually select growth company. So this also helps to remind you why you actually invest in this company. Are you investing for the growth, or are you investing for the dividends or something along that line? So you can select growth over here. Then next, for the type. So the company, is it like a cyclical company, or is it a defensive company, or moderate cyclical company? So as you know that we should not be too heavily invested in any of the type, and also it depends on your risk appetite. Are you going to be invested more on the defensive company, or are you going to be invested more on the cyclical companies? So Amazon is a moderately cyclical company. We can select moderate cyclical. And next we have country. So country is more like where is the company is being listed on, or another way to interpret it is where the bulk of the business is coming from. So there's 2 ways to interpret this. So it really is up to you on how to segregate this country. So for me, I will just use it as a country where it's being listed on. So in this case, Amazon is listed in the US. I will select US. So next will be the currency. Okay, so this is more on, for this company, this ticker, what is the currency of the listing. So in this case, Amazon is being listed in US dollar, so you can just put US dollar over here. And the exchange rate, $1 to XXX listed currency. What it means is, if it's listed in a different currency, what is the exchange rate for it comparing against $1. I'll show you how to fill in this in the later example. So in this case, US dollar to US dollar is just 1:1, so there is you can just leave it empty or just put 1. And over here, the next column will show plan allocation. So this column can actually help you to plan how much you want to allocate into each of the position that you intend to invest in So for example, I have $80,000. I want to invest in 8 different companies. But for example, maybe I only shortlist 3 companies for now, right? Amazon, Unilever, and Alibaba. So how am I going to allocate it across the different companies? So in this case, assume that you want to allocate equally among the 8 companies. So in these 3 companies, I'm going to put 10,000. In total, 8 companies is going to give you 80,000, right? So you can just put over here 10,000. Sorry, so 10,000. So this will actually, in a way, reminds you that, okay, for Amazon, I already allocated a budget of $10,000, so I should not buy more than 10,000, or if let's say I'm planning 10,000 but I only buy less than 10,000, I still have some money to buy even more, right? Yeah. So next will be the quantity and the average cost. So for example, in the past, I have already bought Amazon already. For example, I bought 2 shares of Amazon when the price went down to 2,200, for example. I already bought two Amazon shares. So in this case, right, you can put 2 as the quantity, and the average cost of buying the share is actually $2,200 per share. So over here you can put in $2,200. So what this going to do is that it will actually calculate for you the average cost and the total cost in the you have bought into these Amazon shares. And then over here, you can see just now we fill in the plan allocation to be $10,000. It's going to be reflected here, $10,000 in US dollars. So from this column onwards, all of them is going to be calculated in US dollar. It in a way is more homogeneous. You can look at your portfolio in US dollar. It's easier for you to see, all in a single currency. So in this case, you bought two Amazon shares at $2,200. It's going to cost you $4,400 in total. And since your plan allocation is $10,000, you actually only allocated 44% of your plan allocation. So in this case, you still have 56% more, or $5,600 more to allocate into Amazon. Over here, you can also select, put in your valuation. So for example, last valuation, for example, I did it in end of June, for example, 28th of June. Intrinsic value of Amazon was, I think it was about 3,200. Let's say it's 3,200. You can put in 3,200. So what this going to do is that over here you can see it will actually calculate for you the premium or the discount. Okay, so over here is showing minus $100 because we have not put in the current price yet. So on the Q column, you can put in the current price of Amazon. The last closing price was, I think, $2,999. So after you put this in, you can see that the Excel will calculate for you currently at the current price, $2,999. It's actually 6% discount below valuation of $3,200. So Amazon is still undervalued by 6%. Okay, and based on the cost price, okay, your total cost and the current price, the market value of your position is actually $5,998 because the current price is $2,999 US dollars. Okay, so currently you only have one share, so the allocation of the portfolio is actually 100%. So since your purchase price of $2,200, okay, you have actually percentage change is actually 36%. What it means is that your current position is having 36% unrealized profit. Okay, so this is excluding dividends. And on the last section, if the company actually pays out dividends, you can actually put in the dividends in the P column, and it will actually calculate for you what is the total unrealized profit, or rather unrealized plus realized profit from the dividends. So I'll explain a little bit later when it comes to the second stock. So Amazon doesn't pay up any dividend. Okay, you can leave it to empty, zero, or just put not applicable. Okay, so it will not calculate for you on the last section in terms of how much total dividend is received. So we have done with the first stock, so you can go to the second stock, Unilever. So Unilever is a company operating in the consumer staple sector, so you can actually select consumer staple. In terms of the company category, is actually a predictable company, and I believe Unilever is actually a defensive company. So Unilever UL is listed in the US exchange, so just select US. Again, it's listed in US dollar. Exchange rate is 1-to-1 because $1 is $1. Okay, since I want to allocate my money equally across 8 different companies, right, and I have $80,000 budget, so you can just put in 10,000 over here. So per stock is $10,000. So as of last close, US dollar, Unilever is current price actually at $55.16. Okay, based on the last valuation, it was, I think, $55. Sorry, so 28 June, $55. So for example, in the past you actually have bought, let's say, maybe 250 shares of Unilever at the price of $52. Okay, so again, the column R onwards, right, actually auto calculated. And then as you can see over here, it's actually telling you that the allocation is more than 130%. That means, right, your total cost, okay, over here you can see is 13,000 because you bought $250 at $52. The total cost is 13,000. It actually exceeds your planned allocation. It exceeds your budget. So in this case, this dashboard can actually tell you also, am I over allocating or under allocating to a certain stocks. In this case, Unilever actually, you actually over allocated to Unilever, actually over allocated by 30%. So this actually can prompt you to take a certain action to balance out your portfolio. And comparing to the current price, your intrinsic value is $55. Comparing to the current price, actually is now slightly overvalued. So again, the right side, since your purchase, okay, we currently have unrealized profit of about 6.1%. And with $13,000 being invested, right, so you can see that now it's currently automatically calculated to see that Unilever actually 70% of your portfolio and Amazon is actually 30% of portfolio. But as you fill up all the rest of your investment portfolio, you can actually see these numbers being calculated, and as the price changes, right, the weightage across the different companies will be vary and will be recalculated as well. So we can go to the next one. So the next one, Alibaba. So I'm using the ticker 9988. It's a Hong Kong listed Alibaba, listed in Alibaba stocks listed in Hong Kong. So again, we can fill up. Alibaba is a consumer discretionary sector. Is a growth company, growth category. Type is moderate cyclical type. Okay, so here you can choose to select is China or Hong Kong, right? So but I prefer to fill in this portfolio tracker with the country that where is it being listed. So in this case, I'll select Hong Kong. So 9988 is listed in Hong Kong Exchange and in Hong Kong dollar. So in under the listed currency, you should actually fill in Hong Kong dollar. And then the next column will be the exchange rate. So $1, you should fill in, the X value, right? So $1 to how much Hong Kong dollar. So $1 is approximately about 7.75 Hong Kong dollar. So you can put it over here. So plan allocation. So just now we mentioned that I have $80,000. I want to allocate $10,000 to each stocks. But in this case, we need to fill it up in the listed currency. So in this case, right, $10,000 is equivalent to about, you can put over here using Excel formula, is about 77,500 Hong Kong dollar. Okay, so I have to repeat that from C to Q, we put in the numbers, right, is in terms of the listed currency. From R onwards, it will going to be calculated into US dollar based on the exchange rate that you have specified in these two columns. Okay, so Alibaba last trading price was 239.6, okay, Hong Kong dollar, okay, which is equivalent to 30.92 US dollar. So you can see over here it's actually being converted to US dollar. Okay, again, valuation based on my last valuation, I think it's about 255 Hong Kong dollar. Okay, just as an example. Okay, so for example, in the past, you have bought Alibaba when it was, I think, maybe when it was traded at about $200. Okay, and I have, let's say, maybe 50 shares of it. Okay, sorry, but Hong Kong you cannot, so you maybe have 500 shares of it. Okay, so over here you can see that your average cost is $25.80 US dollar. Okay, your actually average price is $200 Hong Kong dollar. It's actually converted to US dollar to 225.81. Total cost is about 12,000. Okay, and as you can see, again, your plan allocation is actually more than 100%. Okay, this actually will prompt you that you may need to take some action, or you can see that it's actually over budgeted. already exceeding your budget. So in terms of intrinsic value, you can see that it's actually slightly undervalued, okay, based on the current price comparing to the intrinsic value. So in terms of market value, as you can see, you actually have a 19% unrealized profit, okay, since your purchase, because you purchase it at $200, your current price at $239.60, so actually that translates to about 19.8%. Okay, so the reason why these columns are all translated to US dollar is for calculation purpose, so it's going to help with the calculation. It's more homogeneous to a certain extent. And from here you can actually see the portfolio allocation also, because currently you're invested in 3 different stocks. Okay, Alibaba takes up about 44%, Unilever takes up about 39% of your portfolio, and Amazon takes up about 17% of your portfolio. Okay, so Alibaba doesn't pay out any dividends, you can put an A. Okay, so next will be, we come back to Unilever again. So Unilever actually pays out dividends, right? So I think we assume that, let's say Unilever pay out maybe $1.70, for example, right, as the dividend annually. And since you have $250 of share, so you can just put in over here $1.7 dividend multiplied by 250 shares, you get about $425 dividends. Okay, but of course this will depend on the actual amount that you get from the company. So you can just refer to your statement, your broker statement, how much dividend are you getting, or based on the announced dividends right, announced dividends by the company, how much exactly is the rate, and then you can actually add it up into this column. So after you add up in this column, right, if you scroll to the right, okay, you can see that under dividend over here, I have total received dividend in US dollar is about $425. This actually represents 3.3% of your cost. Okay, I'm using cost as a measure over here actually. So this will translate to additional 3.3% of your profit. So Unilever current market value, you already have unrealized profit of 6.1%. Then plus the dividend that you earn, 3.3%. In total, you actually have an unrealized profit, or rather unrealized plus realized profit of 9.3%. Okay, so from here, roughly you can see how much profit you are up now, right? Okay, so this is how you fill up your portfolio manager. Okay, and all this information that you actually have put in this table, right, will be translated into the VMI dashboard over here. So this is a graphical representation of a certain metrics that I thought might be helpful in the investing journey. So for example, the first one, you can see the breakdown by holdings, right, based on the market value. So as you can see, Amazon takes up 17% of my portfolio, valued at $6,000, as you can see over here. Unilever takes up about 39%, and 99A or Alibaba is actually take up about 44%. Okay, so as you add more stocks into the journal, it will actually show up over here in terms of the representation of your whole portfolio. Okay, so it will also show up over here. So going down, there's also a breakdown by the type. So from here, the type, just now we have cyclical, defensive, and the moderate cyclical. So you can see how much money have you invested in the moderate cyclical into each type. So in this case, you can see moderate cyclical, you actually invested about 61%. In defensive is about 39%. Okay, this is in total. There's also a breakdown in terms of the country. So in US, for example, right, you have one company, one defensive company in the US, and one defensive company, one moderate cyclical company in the US. Total each represent about 69.7% in defensive and 30% in moderate cyclical. You did not put any in China, but you put one in Hong Kong, one moderate cyclical, Alibaba, right? and this represents 100% of the moderate cyclical company in Hong Kong. We don't have anything in Singapore, but if let's say you selected Singapore or China as the country, it's going to show up in these two tables, okay, under the Singapore table and under the China table. Okay, going down, also there's a breakdown by category. Cash cow, deep value, ETF, growth, other, predictable, and speculative. Okay, so these are the 7 different categories that we have. Again, the same thing over here. The count is how many companies are there under this specific category. What is the market value in total for each of the category, and what is the percentage or the weightage in terms of the market value for each of the category. So again, the first one is the total. Okay, in total you have 3 companies, okay, 2 in growth, 1 in predictable, and this translates to about 61% investment into growth company and 39% in the predictable company. Okay, the same on the right side, you have US, China, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Okay, the same kind of breakdown but per country. If you scroll down further, this is the geographical breakdown. So over here you can see that you have 2 companies, 2 US companies. Okay, you have invested in 2 US companies, and you have invested in 1 Hong Kong companies. This represents 56%. Okay, the US one represents 56% or about 20,000 market value, and the Hong Kong one represents about 44% or about $15,000 market value. So you can actually look at it over here as well. Okay, so that's about it for the dashboard. Okay, next one, the last one, will be the actually custom parameter. So this actually is more on the settings that we have put in, for your selection over here. Okay, so you can see under sector you have this selection, right, and the under category you can have this selection. Under the type you have this selection. So let's say you want to add in more sector, or you want to add in more country or category or the type, you can actually put it inside here. Okay, so you can just right click on the new row, insert, and you can put in maybe probably a new sector if you want to, for example, military, for example. Okay, or some new sector, I don't know, depending on you. Okay, some new sector. Okay, after you have added it here, under the portfolio manager, you actually show up as one of the selection. Okay, so you can select this over here. Okay, so this but I would advise that we just use the sector that is being taught in the value momentum investing course, so as not to confuse yourself into what kind of sector it is. So it should fall under any of these I think it's 13 sectors. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12 sectors. Okay, so just keep it into the 12 sectors so you don't confuse yourself. But this actually just give you the option to expand out your sector, or maybe the country. For example, you want it to be you're going to invest in other countries like UK or something, then you can actually add in here. So that's about it. I hope this video has been helpful in helping you to navigate through the portfolio manager. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can just ask your questions. You can ask your question in the chat group.